I want to express our warm thanks to from the Office of Energy Efficiency and Inclusive Transitions at the IEA to Letty first for leading and to the Energy Conservation Centre of Japan for organising the event, and also to the Hub for all their hard work and their continued and invaluable contribution to the work of the Office of Energy Efficiency and Inclusive Transition. Energy efficiency, we call it the first few, is in the spotlight like never before. And we at the energy efficiency sphere, we have to take full advantage of this increased visibility. So this event which aims to share lessons about how to increase ambition and achieve more through energy efficiency is very timely. Okay, you might have to imagine that there's a picture of a very hot world. So in 2023, we saw record temperatures and there was extreme weather events. Unfortunately, so we have the spotlight on energy efficiency, but unfortunately, it's not all the reasons behind this are good reasons. The increasing pace of climate change is worrying, and on our screens we're too often filled with climate-related bad news. CO2 emissions are at an all-time high. Energy prices for those who have access to energy is variable and remains high, and the impacts of climate change are becoming ever more visible, but not on the screen. 2023 was a record year for heat, and temperatures in many places exceeded 50 degrees. Extreme weather events have been causing considerable hardship in every region throughout the world, and heat waves in Europe like service and causing deaths, wildfires, and disruptions in sectors like agriculture and tourism. And in the IEA, we saw people responding to this heat. In some regions, sales of electric fans were over double their peak times of the year, and air conditioning sales were up by 50%. And of course, this increase in the cooling and in response to heat caused huge pressures on our electricity system. In some regions, air conditioning represented almost a full 3/4 of the peak electricity demand in some days. And in 2023, power grids in many of the largest countries experienced their highest peaks ever this year. So among this bad news, we do have some good news and some causes for optimism. So at the IEA's Energy Efficiency 8th Global Conference in Versailles, which was in June here last year. There you go, there's the war world. And here's the good news. We called for doubling of the improvement to doubling the global rate of annual energy intensity improvements by 2030. And we got over 40 countries to agree to this, which was in itself very significant. And thankfully this message seems to have resonated and has been built on at COP28, where the global renewables and energy efficiency pledge, which includes our doubling energy efficiency by 2030, has been agreed by over 120 countries and counting. I think it's 200 countries around 200 countries in our today. And this is a great first step, especially in bending the curve of emissions down back towards 1.5. But now we have to deliver it, and we have to increase our ambition beyond 2030 as well. So how are we proposing that we do this? Well, a few weeks ago, we in the IEA, the Energy Efficiency and Inclusive Transitions Office, published our Energy Efficiency Market Report. And that showed that despite some real progress, we have to work much harder, and governments need to work much harder if they're going to deliver the full potential of energy efficiency to get the energy systems on a pathway towards net zero. And this is where our doubling comes in. Thankfully, doubling energy efficiency offers other substantial rewards as well. So our call for doubling, which involves doubling the global rate of annual energy intensity improvements from 2022's level of about 2% to just over 4% between now and 2030. It's important to know that this is a global target, so it means that all countries have to play their parts. It's also important to know that this is a critical step towards net zero. Nearly half of the emissions towards reduction by 2030 that are in the IEA's net zero emission scenario come from actions to double energy efficiency progress. And it also has significant consequences for jobs and for energy bills. We estimate that home energy bills in advanced countries will be lowered by a third, and about 4.5 million more jobs will be created in the energy sector than there are today. And to give some perspective, the energy savings will be equivalent to about twice the EU's consumption in 2020. So the next question is, how should we double the global rate of energy efficiency improvement between now and 2030? Well, the good news is we have some precedent. From our tracking of the country's progress in energy intensity, we know that we already have achieved the doubling threshold of 4% in many countries for at least a limited time. In fact, nearly every country has met at least once in the last 10 years, and one half have managed it at least 3 times. In either 2022 or 2023, 40 countries have achieved this doubling rate. But the challenge now is for governments to consistently bring improvements above this threshold for over 7 years. And one of the ways that we believe this can be done is through the evolving energy efficiency policies. With this in mind, and with the cooperation of Japan's presidency of G7, we published a report on the evolution of energy efficiency policy to support clean energy transitions this year. The report was launched at COP28, and it examined why energy efficiency policy needs to change and how it is already changing. So, why it's changing is because we need to decarbonise. So, for decarbonising and electrification of the energy system, that we need to accelerate and achieve our clean energy transitions, we need to include flexibility and we need to include engagement measures and levers in our energy policies. And we need to put people at the centre of our energy efficiency policies. The challenge is considerable, but governments have already begun the process of transforming their energy efficiency policies to address it. And we have tools, techniques and measures available today not only to meet the challenges that come, but to increase our ambition and to accelerate the global progress on clean energy transitions. So what we're doing here today is a part of that as well. It's very important. Frequent and substantive exchanges among countries and between the public and private sectors are really needed so that we can exchange the lessons about what works and what doesn't work, and we can have that flowing freely, that conversation being free and open, and how we do that to achieve our ambitious goals. At the IA, we're very happy to be our part of this work, and we're really happy to host the Secretariat of Energy Efficiency Hub as we have for 2 years now. And we hopefully so we can support and complement the work of the Hub and its task groups like EMAK. And so I really look forward to hearing from you today and what progress you're making and how we can help to accelerate the clean energy transition. Thank you very much.